500,000 people, 10 volcanic islands, a team nobody could find on a map, no money, no history, 7 failed attempts, a 40-year-old goalkeeper, a flag few recognized. And in 2026, they stopped Spain, the champions of Europe, the smallest country at the World Cup. This is Cape Verde. 10 islands, born of fire, rising out of the ocean off the coast of West Africa. Cabo Verde, the Blue Sharks, a country smaller than most cities, 500,000 people, a speck in the Atlantic. No oil, no riches, no footballing history, to most of the world, invisible. They had tried to reach the World Cup. Once, twice, again and again. 7 times they knocked. 7 times the door stayed shut. The third smallest nation ever to chase this dream, against giants 100 times their size. A team of islanders. A flag few recognized. A hunger nobody saw coming. Because the 8th time, everything changed. But to understand the miracle, you have to understand where they came from. Cape Verde won its independence in 1975, the very last nation in West Africa to break free. They came to football late and with almost nothing. No money, no academies, no gleaming training grounds. The pitches were rough, sun-baked, uneven. Funding was a fantasy, and there's a story the team still tells. In the early days, they sometimes didn't even have proper kits to wear. A national team representing a whole people, scraping together the basics. One man lived through all of it. A player back then named Pedro Brito. The man they would come to call Bubista. He wore that shirt when it meant everything and offered nothing. He would never forget it. So how do you build a World Cup team from a nation of 500,000? You don't, not from the islands alone. You find your people wherever they are. For centuries, Cape Verdeans had left those islands for Europe, for America. A tiny nation with sons and daughters scattered across the planet, and among them, footballers. So Cape Verde went looking. Anyone with Cape Verdean blood, a grandparent, a bloodline, a reason to wear the badge. And one story says it all. Roberto Lopez, born and raised in Ireland. No idea he even qualified. In 2019, a message landed in his LinkedIn. Written in Portuguese, he assumed it was spam, almost ignored it. He ran it through Google Translate and found an invitation to play for a country in his blood. He said yes, and he wasn't the only one. One by one, they came home, to a home most of them had never seen. Players born in Portugal, in France, in the Netherlands, in Ireland, bound by one thing, the islands in their blood. A team stitched together from a scattered nation, and slowly, something real took shape. In 2020, Bubista took charge. The boy from the lean years, now the man with the plan. Under him, the Blue Sharks stopped being a curiosity. They became a threat. They reached the quarterfinals of the Africa Cup of Nations. They beat teams they had no business beating. Belief grew with every match. The little islands were knocking on the door of history, and this time, they would not be denied. The road to 2026 began, and standing in their way, giants, Cameroon, the most experienced World Cup nation in all of Africa, Angola, bigger budgets, bigger names, bigger histories. Cape Verde didn't flinch. Game by game, the smallest team in the group climbed to the top of it. Above Cameroon. Above them all. And then came the night. October 2025. The capital, Praia. One win to turn 7 heartbreaks into history. They beat Eswatini, 3-0. And when the final whistle blew, the islands exploded. Strangers wept in the streets. Horns, flags, drums. 500,000 people, and every one of them awake that night. After 7 failed attempts, Cape Verde, The Blue Sharks were going to the World Cup. The impossible was suddenly real. But the hardest part was still to come. Then came the draw, and the football world winced. Group H, Spain, reigning champions of Europe, favorites to win the whole tournament. Uruguay, two-time world champions, a nation that eats pressure for breakfast. And Saudi Arabia, no pushovers themselves. Of all the groups, the smallest nation had landed in the group of death. Think about the gap. The giants, stacked with superstars from the richest leagues on earth. And Cape Verde, one single player from Europe's top 5 leagues. One. The experts did the math in seconds. No chance. Make up the numbers. Enjoy the trip. Go home. Nobody gave the islanders a prayer, which is exactly when fairy tales begin. June 15th, 2026, Atlanta. Cape Verde versus Spain, the champions of Europe, against an island chain of 500,000 people. It was supposed to be a massacre. It wasn't. The Blue Sharks didn't park the bus and pray. They stood tall. They believed. And in goal, Vozinha, 40 years old, a man from the lean years. He became a wall, shot after shot, save after save. Spain pushed. Cape Verde held. And when the whistle blew, 0-0. They had held the best team on the planet. The tiniest nation in the tournament had taken a point from the champions of Europe, and they weren't done. Days later, against Uruguay, two-time world champions, they fell behind. And they came back. 2-2. A late goal that stunned the world. The smallest country at the World Cup had become the biggest story in it. 500,000 people. 10 small islands. Sons of a scattered nation, pulled from every corner of the world and united by a single badge. Cape Verde didn't just reach the World Cup. They proved that size means nothing when belief means everything. This is Behind the Empire, where we tell the stories behind the moments that move us. Subscribe and share this with someone who's been told they're too small to dream, because the smallest can shake the world.